rough one, boys.
Wow.
I hit the button ever so slightly. I don't know what I'm doing. What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Winners Lounge. Let's go.
Let's go, dude. Who needs Brendan?
Let's go.
The Summer League Nuggets get another win and improve to 2-1. Very impressive record there, those Summer League Denver Nuggets. We're going to break it all down for you and cover some news, man. Lots to get into, but first we are presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. You can use promo code DNVR whenever you sign up. You can also you start betting on Summer League. The games are they're rough. They can be a little bit rough. We're in the rough part of Summer League now, and betting a little money might make it slightly less rough. I am joined by a man whose name is Eric (D-line).
Let's go! Anything is possible. What a great game, guys. I am electric. I also spent almost all day sleeping because I'm still hungover to some degree from Las Vegas.
People should just mark it in their calendars. The week the DNVR crew gets back from Vegas, not the best week.
No, bad week. It's a bad week.
Yeah, you gotta factor. It's basically like a back-to-back for us. We're basically pushing through a back-to-back right now. The man who is in an undisclosed location, it is Harrison Wind.
Undisclosed location.
Undisclosed.
Yeah,
undisclosed?
Dude.
Is my brain working?
Ever since I hit 30, man, I need at least a 48-hour recovery time from Vegas.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me for 48 hours.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
Maybe I'm good.
You're SOL because we're going to talk to you and you're going to have to talk in front of, hundreds of people at this very moment. Yeah. The Nuggets get the win over, I don't even have the scoreboard up here. They get the win over the Los Angeles Clippers. And what was, every game we've been doing this thing, the heat index, right? Where we kind of give out how many guys are flames tonight. Eric, how many guys were flames on the old heat index today?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I said one, you said none. In the final.
I was right.
The final published version of the heat index contained 0 Flames players.
I think that's accurate. I don't think there was any Flames players. 80-75. That was the final score. Peyton Watson shoots 3 of 14 from the field. Peyton Watson came out of the gate tonight. Best 3-minute stretch of the whole summer league. I was like, I'm gonna say this line a lot over the course of this episode that confidence is so much, especially in summer league. Especially these guys they got the jitters. They're trying to make it's like tryouts. Tryouts in high school. This feels like tryouts. These guys want to make a strong impression, so there's a weight. And if you get some momentum, I do feel like it gets a little easier. Peyton Watson had a phenomenal game too. To start this game, first 3 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, his confidence is through the roof. We're going to get the very best version of him. And then that too disappeared. But nonetheless, I'm actually still encouraged by Peyton Watson, even though I'm looking at the stat sheet, 3 of 14 from the field, 1 of 5 from the 3-point line, 2 of 6 from the free throw line. But he still goes for 9 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocked shots. I thought he had a steal. It looks like they did not credit him for a steal, but I thought he had a steal. Harrison, what did you make of Peyton Watson's third game?
Thought it was better than his first game, definitely worse than his second game. But I think overall, I'm a little encouraged like you. He had just the most classic summer league sequence ever today, right at the beginning of the game. He swishes his first three-pointer, throws his hand up, starts playing with the crowd, talking shit, and then comes down on the next possession and just airballs another 3. It was so classic summer league. And I feel like it's probably what we're going to get a lot from Peyton Watson this season, just flashes of brilliance. And you're sitting there saying wow, this guy, I totally buy what Calvin Booth's selling. But then you're also going to see possessions where you look at him and go, this guy's got a long way to go. But overall, I'm still encouraged with what he's done these last couple games.
Eric, that first block of the game, it was on the first possession. That was a big boy block, man. Some guy was going to dunk it. I don't even remember who it was. It wasn't Peyton Watson's man, but he rotates over from behind and get that out of there. It was one of those ones. I put this on the list today. He has really good reflexes. He reacts really quickly to things, and I think that's how he gets these. But that play to me was probably his best play of summer league.
Yeah, it's funny. It was like the first play of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, just like got it right
actually
for this game. Just like got it right out of the way. No, I mean, like I agree with you. It started off where I was like, oh man, this guy's everywhere. He's getting rebounds. He's blocking shots. He is in the lanes. He's like not. He's keeping his guy in front of him. And it really felt like early on, it was like, my God, like this is like the Nuggets' main pick from this draft, which is hilarious because we were like, just thinking that he was just a flyer, not a lot to look forward to. Christian Braun was like the real prize. As the game went on, I mean, it's hard to read too much into any of this, but you're right. Like it feels like the word we're going to use every single time we talk about him is just the word confidence. Like he came out, his confidence was sky high. And then like, as the game went on, it like got a little bit like less and less. Like his shot became worse and worse. And he just kept falling down like at various points, like trying to make
It's actually one of my notes here. It's funny. One of my notes is he falls over a lot on drives because you're right. It's like a noticeable trend with him that he drives so hard and then just like falls.
He just like slips, like his foot. It was crazy.
I think it's his balance. Like honestly, it's a fundamental. Like you can imagine, like playing soccer. I'm not a soccer player. I would probably fall over more than the average guy just because I'm like, man, this is kind of hard kicking a ball and running. It's a fundamental. He falls over because he gets going too fast and his balance isn't great. Yeah,
I mean, but overall, it's funny. Like the one like main takeaway for me from this game was just like the Nuggets developed a team identity in summer league. We have a summer league team identity where they play as a team. No one player is bigger than the summer league team.
Oh, I love it.
Which is not great.
Ryan Bowen? Is it?
Yeah, which is not. It's
great.
It's not great when you're looking for one player to rise above the rest of the summer league, so you can sign them. But I don't know if they could sign the whole team. Like,
it's not about the name on the back of the jersey D line. It's about the name on the front.
I don't even think they have a name on the front. I'm not sure. It's unclear. I agree with you though. Part of it is, I think, actually how we should be analyzing this team, and that is the Nuggets put together a roster of defenders because they want to see who can defend and they want to find a defender. But this is not like a healthy roster in terms of like, oh, they check all boxes. You got a shooter, you got a slash. Like they're missing a creator. And Collin Gillespie is the best of them by far. Like he's actually really good. We're going to talk about him because he's my large adult son. I love that dude. But they're missing guys that can just kind of make things happen, get to the rim and make shots, get to the mid-range and make shots. They don't have that. So I think you do have a little bit of a bunch of guys that are kind of like standing around looking at each other. I do like this comment, though, Harrison. Peyton is baby Giannis.
No question.
I've seen
he's a mix of baby Giannis and Kevin Durant. So,
oh, wow. Look, Summer League is for the hype.
I'll say this, man. I'll say this. The Nuggets just haven't had a guy like Peyton Watson in the Jokic era, 6'8" and a natural 3, who's a projectable elite defender. The closest guy that they've had that fits that archetype is Jeremy Grant. And, he was even playing a little out of position at the 3. He wasn't the lockdown defender that Peyton Watson can be in due time. I just think it's exciting that they finally have this 6'8" dude with a 7-foot wingspan who can just be an all NBA level defender one day. Like we've been asking for Denver to get this type of guy forever. And now the Nuggets finally have him. So it's been cool just to see the flashes.
Yeah. I actually am pretty intrigued with Peyton Watson. Like I'm in, even though tonight was, I kind of feel like this is going to be 50% of the nights for Peyton Watson. I really do. Like this is,
sure.
You mentioned it was better than the first game, worse than the second. I think it might have been a little bit closer to the second game. Like the first 4 minutes, all like the second game, maybe even better. But after that point, like he had 7 points then. I think he finished with 9. So after that point, he was kind of back to first game. And I just, his skill level, his fundamentals are so raw that I think he's going to have a lot of nights like this where the stuff that doesn't pop is going to shine a little bit more. But nonetheless, I actually remain encouraged. I will say, can you imagine if we would have seen game 1 of Peyton Watson and then game 3 of Peyton Watson and not game 2? Like we would be a lot more nervous if we didn't see the like good, the payoff.
Right. But just imagine if we had seen game 2 of Peyton Watson before game 1
That's
of
true.
Peyton Watson.
The hype would have been out of control.
And the hype would have been on another level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't know. If we would have seen game 1, then game 2, we would have been like, "Oh man, he's getting better, getting better. I can see it.
every
I
game.
can see it." And then, but unfortunately, it's never good when you move backwards. That's tough to swallow.
I love Rob Shea. I didn't know anybody was all in on Peyton Watson. Good for you, man. Honestly, like, there's no reason not to be, or you can kind of stake your claim here on some of these guys.
Baby Giannis.
He says he is baby Giannis, 100, just a year behind Giannis as a rookie. This kid is going to be a star. I'm all in. We'll see. I'm not going to make any big proclamations, honestly. But I think I'm 3 games in. I feel like I'm not going to make any big proclamations on any of the players. None of the guys have done anything positive or negative enough to warrant the hot take. It's just like, okay, I kind of see what they're supposed to be. I have no idea if they're going to actually be that or not. The next guy we have to talk about, though, maybe the most important one, Christian Braun, 30 minutes tonight, 30 and a half minutes, gets 8 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. That's a hell of a stat line right there, D-line. That's a hell of a stat line. 8 points is a little low, but then we scroll over. 1 of 10 from the field, 0 of 5 from the three-point line. He even went 6 of 8 from the foul line. Now, that was 0 of 2. He missed 2 free throws on a shooting foul. So I look at this and I go, he still filled up the box score and all the other stuff, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, 3 blocks. Like, that's really impressive. But we're 3 games in now, and his shooting has just consistently been bad. And I feel like he's in his head.
He's definitely in his head, and his shooting's getting worse. That's like not what you want to see. Like, the confidence spectrum is going the opposite direction for Christian Braun than it is for Peyton Watson. Like, he came out in the first game we watched, we were like, oh my God, like, this guy's the perfect guy. Like, he is fearless. He is emotionless out there. He's a killer. And now it's like, can he shoot the ball? Like can he has no confidence on offense. He's not looking for a shot at all. It's funny because, again, this is summer league. Like you said, there's absolutely no creators on this team outside Collin Gillespie. There were a couple times, like several times, where he found himself at the top of the key and was looking to kind of make some moves, that kind of shimmy back and forth, and it just looks so rough. Like, clearly not his game. But the problem is that he was also being fed spot up shots, and he was just not even coming close to connecting on those either. He missed a flow. I mean, he just was so bad on the offensive end tonight that it sucks because we gave him a yellow ball, which is, if you look at the rest of his stats, like 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, whatever. I mean, that's a good night, typically speaking. He was just so unspeakably terrible on the offensive end. Like you said, I mean, it's summer league. We'll say that a million times. I don't know, blah, 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 blah. But man, not an encouraging night for Christian Braun. Browntown on notice.
Ooh, Browntown on notice. Look, I mean, the shot's been really bad. He's 1 of 20 from 3 through 3 summer league games. Like, any way you splice it, that's ugly. And tonight, he shot a 3-pointer early on the game, absolutely bricked it, like barely grazed the rim. And I'm with you, D-line. I felt like from that point on, he kind of shied away from the ball, just didn't really want it. Like, we seen him want it.
I don't know. It's not about
in these last couple of games.
Don't you think he's in his head? Like, it's not about want it, because want it.
Well, he doesn't want it.
But like, we've seen him, try to go to the ball, like still try to get stuff, get the ball, get something at the rim. It seemed like he was barely touching it. After that first 3 that he bricked.
All around in Browntown.
Yeah, it's not good in Browntown right now. It's not good. It's not good. Am I nervous? Am I nervous about Christian Braun's shot and his offensive game? No, I think he's going to be fine. But you just want to see him get some threes to go down. Like, his defense was really good today again. He was rebounding as well. His defense the other game against Ochai Agbaji was great. Like, he locked him up. But I just got to see him hit some threes here.
Yeah, the question now is, are you concerned? And I would say I'm not concerned. It's summer league. Like, summer league really doesn't matter that much. I am impressed with much of his game. Like, I do think his defense has been pretty good. He does see, one of the things Calvin Booth said after the draft was, we want guys that just do stuff. They just, like, whether they're having a good game or not, they just get their hand, they get deflections, they get rebounds, they get tips, they take charges. Christian Braun is that. Like, he actually does all of those things, and he has even in his bad games. At some point, you would like to see some shots go down. And now that we're 3 games into Summer League, I mean, Summer League might only be 2 more games. They've got 1 more in pool play. Then they go to the tournament round, which is kind of the dumbest round in all of the history of basketball. But really, it's like 1 more, maybe 2 more games to showcase himself. So even if he has 2 good shooting games, you'll still look at 3 bad shooting games, whatever. But it would be nice to see him get 1 or 2. And I see some people in the chat saying, hey, his shot looks really flat. I agree. That's the one thing when you watch the shot, it doesn't have a lot of arc on it. Like, it's really kind of a dart that he's throwing right now. So on top of that, tonight, he got by the first line. He got to the rim and wasn't finishing. He had a couple shots that you kind of expect. It's one thing to miss threes. Guys wax and wane on three-point shooting. But when you get to the rim, that should be a more consistent shot. Like, there should be certain shots. And tonight he missed a couple of them that you're like, yeah, you got to make those at the NBA level to kind of stay honest. Yeah. So he's struggling. I do think he's in his head. But you know what? What have we heard from Calvin Booth and everyone else about Christian Braun? He's a winner, right? He's a winner. One of the things that's interesting about
we won tonight, baby.
2-1. 2-1.
2-1. Let's go. He's a winner.
This close to being 3-0, which is kind of funny. 2-1. They get the win tonight. But more importantly, this is a chance tonight. The thing that was most shocking to me was I thought Christian Braun got scared. Not scared, but just got a little bit gun shy. Tentative, I would say. And I want to see if in this next game, if that carries over, because for him to succeed next year, he's going to face a lot of adversity. He's going to get DNPs. He's going to play and get yanked. Like, he's going to have moments where he's not good. And if Summer League is sort of causing him that sort of gut check, then I don't have as much confidence like that come January, February, he's going to be a guy that can save the Nuggets, or play those kind of minutes. So in some ways, this is a good sort of gut check for him. Can we get to my guy now?
Which is your guy?
You guys know who my guy is. Collin Gillespie.
Let's go.
I love this dude, man.
I do too, man.
And tonight, most important of all, we got the all-coveted Monte Morris stamp of approval, you guys. Monte Morris, watching the game, first of all, still Mr. Nugget until we find
he's got to have something better to do than watch Nuggets Clippers on a Wednesday
night. We don't. Right? Why would he?
Well, yeah, why does he? You think he really does? And he's watching him, and he says that he's a believer. He's a fan of Collin Gillespie. He says, like, I know what I'm talking about, or something like. I'm trying to find the tweet right now as we say it. What do you make, Harrison, of getting the Monte Morris stamp of approval?
Well, I love it, man. It's not like Monte was given the stamp of approval to one of Denver's first-round picks. He gave it to, a point guard, but a guy who went undrafted. And look, I'm sure, like, Monte knows Collin Gillespie's game. I'm sure he knows everybody's game that's ever played the game of basketball. But I thought it was cool, and I bet Monte sees a little of himself in Collin Gillespie.
Sure.
4-year player in college. Gillespie was actually a 5-year player, but guy who doesn't really turn the ball over, who just runs his team. And the Nuggets got a good one in Collin Gillespie that they absolutely did. Like, he is steady Collin Gillespie. Like, you know what you're going to get from him
steady
every
Gillespie.
Single night that he's out there. So
Gillespie, yeah.
I think it's big, and I think you can look at Collin Gillespie, and I've tweeted this and I've written it, and you can look at him and say, all right, maybe the Nuggets just got their Monte Morris like they did in 2017 again.
Yeah. Can I tell you something real quick, T-Line? Mr. Nugget, we all know that's Monte Morris. We haven't awarded anybody Mr. Nugget just yet. We know that Collin Gillespie is going to be down with the Grand Rapids Gold.
Unbelievable.
We know he's going to be down there on a two-way.
Dude, he's Mr. Gold.
He's Mr. Gold.
Let's go. Gold. The golden boy.
I think he might be Mr. Gold.
He loves gold. I'm in it. Mr. Gold. Absolutely. No question. With a bullet. Collin Gillespie. My favorite part about Collin Gillespie is that everyone sees themselves in him. Michael Malone sees him. Like, he's just, we should call him the mirror. He's just, everybody sees themselves in Collin Gillespie.
Can I tell you, everybody's wrong about this, though, because he's actually good. Like, everybody's like,
dude.
He's the every man who just tries hard. No, he's a stud, man. That dude is a stud.
He's a total stud. I honestly think the Monte Morris comp is kind of cheating him. Like, I think he's better than Monte Morris in a lot of ways. Hold on. Let me finish. Okay. In potential. Okay. Like, Monte Morris, I just see more explosivity out of Collin Gillespie. I see more trickery ball handling. I see, like he looks like Monte Morris now. Like Monte Morris has a largely unspectacular, steady game. I think.
All right, hold on. Can I recap real quick?
Hold on.
Peyton Watson, baby
Yes,
Giannis.
baby Giannis.
Okay. Collin Gillespie is Monte Morris right now.
Yes. In play style, I literally see CP3 in his game. Like I don't know what to say. Like when I watch him, he reminds me more of Chris Paul than he does of Monte Morris. Not saying like that the skill level will ever get them to that place, but at least like I just think that he is more about like driving play than Monte Morris is. Monte Morris is more about like just. Like even though he never turns the ball over, he's super reliable. Like I don't view Monte Morris necessarily as a floor general. Like I just view him as a guy that can kind of get things started. But Collin Gillespie feels like a guy that drives, that he attacks the rim, that he has a lot going. Take the Collin as my. That's right. Fuck you. Let's go. That's my guy. I see myself in Collin Gillespie.
If I read off the stats real quick from him tonight, he goes for 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, just 2 turnovers in 30 minutes, 5 of 11 from the field, just 2 of 7 from the 3-point line. Yeah, I mean, he's just been solid. And a lot of those buckets came late, like just kind of putting the game away. I really like his game. I will say defensively, that's where I'm really watching him. I think it's unfortunate that the Nuggets haven't gone up against a great backcourt for all of Denver's sake. But I don't know.
Adam. They went up against your boy Jason Preston.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Can I tell you actually something about Jason Preston? Because you're right,
oh,
he is
please,
that guy.
Please.
Have you remember last year how skinny he just looked so scrawny?
Yeah.
He filled out, man. He filled out. He used his redshirt year to really put
He's on the Bones diet.
He is on the Bones. That's right. I love it. Bones, 5 pounds.
It's like water weight. Just put on some water weight. Like hyped about it.
So I like Collin Gillespie, man. I'm very excited for him. And easy guy to root for. I'm very pumped for that era. Ishmael Kamagate. Should we do it on the other side? Let's get Ish on the other side. Let's take our first break. But on the other side, we'll get to Kamagate. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Matt Mitchell and Jack White as well.
The action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially this summer. With tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports, you can fuel your fandom and feel the heat of the season like never before. Right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right, make your first bet up to $1,000. If it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash it in. Plus, you can throw down on all the major action for baseball, golf, MMA, NBA Summer League, lots more as well. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR. Make your first deposit. Get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Also at Green Mountain Dental Group right now, you guys can schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. Receive a free Sonicare toothbrush when you do. Green Mountain Dental Group, they're located in Lakewood. They're Colorado and Denver through and through, just like us here at DNVR. A lot of us at DNVR, we go there to get our teeth cleaned, cavities filled, get our wisdom teeth out. They're great people. They're great at what they do. 15 minutes from downtown Denver, Green Mountain Dental Group. Get a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. Receive a free Sonicare toothbrush today.
All right, there, a little heat index. You can see our grades. Let us know how we did. I love that everybody just puts like positive words in front of Gillespie. Constant Gillespie.
It's like a Mad Lib, man.
It really is. Whatever positive attribute you want to give. And then
I see myself.
Quality Collin Gillespie.
I see myself. Mirror Gillespie. All right, let's move in. Ishmael Kamagate. I actually thought this was a really quiet game. I mean, he played 21 and a half minutes from him. He gets 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 block shots. So his block shots have gone up in each game. But mostly I just kind of thought he was quiet tonight. Like some of this was the ball wasn't finding him. Like the team wasn't really getting the ball to him. But I thought there was large portions where I just didn't notice him. Harrison, what's your read on him?
Yeah, probably a similar thing to you. He still had the 3 blocks, which was really good. I mean, that's the one thing that we know that Ishmael Kamagate is going to do. He's going to block shots at the rim. And for a lot of this game, I mean, tell me if you think there's something here. The Clippers shot 36% from the field tonight. They had a really low 2-point percentage. I've got to think a lot of that was because they just didn't want to challenge Kamagate at the rim.
Yeah, I think that's actually very fair. Yep.
Yeah. So I thought he was, a presence defensively. He had the 3 blocks. Offensively, just didn't really get a lot of chances. Just 3 shot attempts.
Yeah. He's like he had like a classic, as Harrison would say, summer league big man performance. Like a guy that is reliant on other guys to get him the ball, and he's just like, okay, like I don't know what to do. I won't give me the ball. So I don't know how to make any kind of impression. He was fine. Like, still like the most impressive thing about him is his reach, just his big, long arms. Like he totally is turning guys away just by his simple presence, which is cool. Like, they were talking. It was funny because they were talking about during the Michael Malone interview, like how the Nuggets were 30th in blocking and everything, and I was like, well, that would be Nikola Jokic. That makes sense. I understand that.
Right.
So I have no idea how Kamagate fits into the Nuggets' long-term plan. I mean, I assume they're thinking of him as their backup center probably next year. But he looked serviceable. He looked like a player.
The block shot part is really important. I mean, he got 0 in the first game, although he did alter a lot of shots. Didn't play a ton of minutes. Got 2 in the last game and then 3 in this one. Conditioning today I didn't think was as noticeable and as in previous games. Like that was one of my things about him. And he does deter shots. The proof is in the pudding too. I mean, there's a lot of good defenders on the court, but when you see that 36% or whatever from the field for a team, some of that's summer league, but some of that is also, he's making an impact out there. So I still like the fit. I just don't think there was a very noteworthy game from Ismail.
It's just hard a lot of times for a big man like him to get going because you're totally reliant on your point guard. The Nuggets have a good one in Collin Gillespie.
Good.
But also,
I see myself in him.
What do you do? I see.
But even he's looking to score the ball a little bit more than he was early on at Summer League. And also, if you're the defense, I mean, you're sagging in every time and trying to let them beat you from 3 because nobody can really shoot it at Summer League. So it's tough for a big like Kamagate to really get going, but he's playing hard. I feel like he's playing hard.
Yeah.
He's got a good motor while he's out there.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's incapable of not playing hard. He does run out of air. Why does Harrison hate Collin?
I don't see myself in Collin.
You don't see yourself in him?
I don't.
Unbelievable.
Joe Harris, he sees himself. Jake Layman, but not Collin Gillespie. Okay. All right, let's move on to some of these other guys. Last guy I want to get into before we get into all of the two-way candidates is Jontay Porter. And I say that maybe Jontay's a candidate. I don't think so. I don't think that's what Denver's looking for in that one. I love Jontay Porter's game, though. I've said this a lot. I liked what I even saw from him tonight for the most part. I thought he had some very nice moments. 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Goes 3 of 7 from the field. The greatest shooting coach in America, probably the entire world, is Michael Porter Sr. Jontay's shot is really pretty. Michael Porter's shot's the most beautiful shot I've ever seen. How do you get so many? I mean, these guys are 6'11". How do you get these guys to all have like the most beautiful textbook jumpers?
They're bored with it. It's like literally part of their physiology. Like
I don't know.
You don't teach any of that. I mean, like they're just so smooth, baby. The Porters are smooth. There's really no other way to put it.
Are you impressed with him, Eric?
I am, like in what you're talking about, like his jump shot. He doesn't look like a big man at all when he shoots the ball. He seems a little soft, honestly. Like when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, and also
I'm being corrected here. It might be Mrs. Porter that's the shooting coach. I don't know. I remember talking to.
Yeah, shout out Lisa Porter.
Yeah, Lisa Porter. So I don't want to get this wrong. I do remember talking to Tim Conley one time where he was talking about what a great shooting coach Michael Porter Sr. is. So that's the only reason I went with it. But maybe a family of basketball, a family of hoopers.
Just a bushel of hoopers, just nonstop hoopers. But he looks interesting, if nothing else. Like he definitely looks like he's a guy that can shoot the ball. I mean, I don't even know. I'm confused about
tonight too.
Yeah, I'm confused about Jontay Porter. Like I don't know if he's like on the team to have like a serious look at him, or if it's sort of like just like a a favor to Michael, or what his deal was. I mean, it was really strange to me he didn't play in the second game, which made me think like maybe it's not as serious as a proposition. But I mean, I would not hate if Jonte Porter was part of the Nuggets organization one way or the other.
I would love it. I don't know if we can use the two-way on him, and like the injury history makes it tough, but I just like his game. I mean, he has some things in his game that I really like.
Yeah. Well, he didn't play in the second game because I think they want to manage his knee a little bit. I don't think his knee is 100%, which sucks, man. And he took the whole last year off to try to get it right and rehab it. And I just watched Jonte Porter, and I think about what could have been, because you're right, Adam. He has just like such an intriguing game for the modern NBA. He can pass it. He can shoot it. Yeah. He's like this dollar store Nikola Jokic, and you just look at him and say, like, if he is healthy and if he reached his potential, he would have a place in the NBA probably. I'm a big fan of him. I really like him as a person and a player, but yeah, I don't see the second two-way being used on him, unfortunately.
I see some people, I'm telling you, on Twitter right now are saying that Eric is now the leader of the Collin Gillespie.
Yeah, what happened here? Let's fucking go!
Oh, man.
Yes, oh, I have the flag on there.
Bless up.
You guys are all copying me. This is what's going on. All right, I want to talk about the three guys that we all seem to believe are the main competitors for that second two-way, and they all had something interesting tonight. You've got Adonis Arms, who goes for 6 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 tomahawk jam. You have
almost 2.
Well, no, one was like not even close, but he tried it anyway.
One was murder, the other was attempted murder.
Yeah, like really poorly attempted. Jack White out of Australia, 14 points, 6 rebounds,
good day.
1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the three-point line, which is very notable. That's really going to be the part that make or breaks him. Talk about a guy. He's the Collin Gillespie of small forward. Solid White.
I mean,
steady White. Hey, Jack, what are we doing here?
Why do we do this show? What is the point of this show? I don't.
We shouldn't do this show at 11 o'clock at night. Is what we're learning here.
Mighty Jack White.
The last one. Let me just go to Matt Mitchell real quick. He had 17 points, a game high 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 5 fouls, 6 of 12 from the field, 5 of 10 from the three-point line. Harrison, those 3 guys: Arms, White, Mitchell. How do you break down the 3 of them today, and then kind of who's leading your clubhouse right now?
Well, the Matt Mitchell game, I think, was notable today because we've all been waiting for him to have a game that we could just at least talk about a little on this show because we haven't really mentioned his name at all. If you guys remember, he was getting a lot of buzz throughout Summer League training camp about
a lot of buzz.
Potentially, it could be his two-way spot to lose. And tonight he had really his first nice game at Summer League, hit 5 of 10 threes, played good defense, which he's been doing. So I'd probably say he's still the leader in the clubhouse, but I don't get the sense that anybody has really separated themselves. Adonis Arms has flashed. And I think out of any of these 3, like, you could kind of squint and see it with him just because his athleticism and just his measurables. And then with Jack White, I mean, Jack White's just a really good player. We said this after he had 15 rebounds last game. He's a really good player. He's been playing professionally for the last couple of years. I just don't know what he is in the NBA.
Yeah. Eric, where are you at with those 3 guys?
Wow. I think Jack White has had 2 really solid games in a row. I think he got flames last time and red ball from us this time.
He could have maybe been flames, to be honest, man. Like today, like he was. Really
Jack White's been the best player out of these 3. It's just, what is he at the NBA level?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He's just a solid guy that has a big barrel chest that's unafraid, that doesn't get blown by, that can make shots, that can get rebounds. He's just like a ultimate glue guy. It's funny. Like
would you say, Eric? Would you say, Eric, that he's a Joe Ingles type?
Yeah, absolutely. He's okay. Patty Mills, Joe Ingles. I mean, those are the comps that Ben Simmons. I mean, that's just who I see. No, like he's just. He's just a solid solid player. And sometimes you just need like guys that don't need to be anything other than where the ball is, make the right choice, keep the ball moving. So I think he's probably the leader in my clubhouse, Jack White. And then Mitchell's game was probably the most impressive game, I think, of any of them that have been recorded in any of the games. Like, he was really good. He started off really bad this game. He was 0 for 3 or 0 for 5 or something. And then he really caught fire. He showed he had a really nice looking fadeaway mid-range, hit those threes. And they were in as much as you can have a big shot in a summer league game. Like, they were when the when the ultra scary Clippers led by Jay Scrub were making their heated comeback. It was Mitchell that was able to sort of quiet the run, steady the team, and get things going that way. So, and Adonis Arms, I agree with you. Like, he's just so. First off, it's just the name. How badly do we want Adonis Arms on our name?
Yeah, you really
team? More than anything. Like, if that guy's name was Ted Johnson, we'd be like, this guy sucks. But he's Adonis Arms. I'm like, look at those arms, dude. They're amazing. What do you like when he slams it?
Yeah. Harrison's point is the one, because to me this is a no question. It's Jack White has been so good. He might be the best Nugget of Summer League. He might be the best Summer League Nugget. The guy is so solid. I am so impressed with him. My favorite type of player. And it is funny, we almost talk about him as the underdog, oh man, he's trying to break his way in. He's trying to sneak past these other guys. He went to Duke. He's a top prospect. Now he's been playing professionally for several years. He's actually not in any way an underdog. He should be dominating.
Chrysalis Arms.
Chrysalis Arms. That's a deep cut right there, Tillin. Are we just delirious, or is the chat on fire today?
Dude, the chat,
usually but now I'm
the chat isn't.
The chat's delirious from 3 games of Summer League.
Dude, the chat isn't postseason form. We're in off-season form. The chat is never been better.
They really are.
Never been sharper.
But Jack White, to me, even with all of that, I look at it and I go, he just affects winning. And what do you need out of these two-way guys? We've done the upside thing at that two-way spot. They're if this guy hits, he's a star. Part of me just thinks Denver needs. You look at the playoffs last year. Denver just needs guys that you have a bunch of these different guys, and then when the playoffs arrive, you're like, okay, who do we need? Do we need Jack White? He's going to rebound. He might guard. I've actually been very impressed with his on-ball defense, his ability to keep people in front of him. Maybe that's all you need. Is you're not talking about a guy that's going to play a ton of minutes ever in his career, but maybe he's a guy that can play 5 to 10 minutes in a playoff series just to fill a gap that you kind of need. And
dude, he's flat. He's Vlatko. He's a shorter Vlatko. He's just a guy that can kind of do everything okay, nothing spectacular, won't mess it up, won't win it, won't lose it. We'll make the right play, we'll get the rebound. He's just another Vlatko, in the best possible way.
And then Adonis Arms, to me, is by far the least good, impactful player. He's got the athleticism, and when he pops, it really pops. You're he's the guy that you would pick if you were hey, he might grow into Torrey Craig. Which is good. Torrey Craig started for a while. He started playoff series for Denver. Adonis Arms, maybe you can talk yourself into being molded in that. I don't personally see it. I see the physical tools, and I see some of the playmaking, but I actually just don't I think he's more likely to be a negative player at the NBA level for a while. And do you really need that? Do you really want that? Whereas Jack White maybe doesn't have anything better than what he's shown already, but I kind of feel like you could plug him in and give you 5 minutes in a pinch, and he would be something for you. So, and then Mitchell's the weird one, just because I still don't feel like I know what his game is. He hit 5 threes tonight. I have no idea if that means he had a good game or if he had a bad game and then hit 5 threes. I don't know. It's so hard.
Dude, Mitchell, Mitchell is David Roddy, just a
kind
big, thick guy.
Yeah.
He
David
can
Roddy's
shoot.
a lot smarter.
I don't know, man. To me, it's they're pretty analogous. It's you can. He plays somehow smaller than he looks. He's more finesse than you would expect for such a big, strong guy. And he has a good touch. And you would expect a guy like that to just be bowling guys over, knocking guys out of the way, slamming at the rim. But that's not his game, surprisingly. So I don't know what to make of him either, except for I think he played well. He stood out to me tonight. I thought he had a really great game.
He had a really good game.
Yeah. Arms is a project for sure. You would put him on a two-way and be all right, we're going to develop you. We're really going to put some
work on
resources.
those legs.
into developing you and your legs. But I mean, green light Jack White is the best player of the three.
He's like a lot better than I can't believe Harrison cracked himself up.
So terrible.
Nothing better than when Harrison gets himself. People keep saying Lou Dort is the comp for Mitchell. What I see is that Lou Dort is such a running back, like he's a fullback, right? With the way he like sort of drives to the lane, it's like he's like hitting the hole. I don't know if I see that physically. I kind of see it from Mitchell, but Eric's right. For as big as he is, he doesn't really play that way. He kind of goes to his fall away a lot.
Oh, he doesn't play strong at
all. Defensively, though, that's where his strength really shines through. Like that guy really is. He is a brick wall. That actually would maybe be his nickname because the way he plays defense is where he like slides into guys and they hit him and just like bounce off him. And he's like, nope, you're not going past. So I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to make the decision. I would probably go Jack White. I do like his game. If he's a 3-point shooter, he went 2 for 2 tonight. If he was a 3-point shooter, which I don't believe he is, but if he was, I'd be like, oh, he's a surefire NBA player. Like he's a great connector. So if that's the only swing piece for him, maybe you kind of believe you can get him into the system and kind of get him to become green light Jack White. Green light Jack White is he's an NBA player. Yellow light, I don't know. Red light, no. Get back.
We can't. Jack White cannot enter into our sphere. And we give him a nickname that's not based on the White Stripes. This is the lead singer of the White Stripes is Nate Jack White. I won't hear anything else. We can workshop it later.
You gotta go through the catalog and find a good nickname.
All right. The Seven Nation Army. I mean, whatever. We'll figure it out.
I mean, come on. Green light Jack White is I kind of like it. Harrison, why don't you take us into the break? But on the other side, there's actually a lot of news to get to, guys. Contavious Caldwell Pope has been extended by the Denver Nuggets. This is actually a pretty meaningful development that we just saw tonight. And then also, Michael Malone says that Jamal Murray is going to be on a minutes restriction when the season opens up next year. We kind of suspected, but that feels like news. We'll get to both of those on the other side.
Make sure to pick up some Mile High City Copper Lager from Breckenridge Brewery. Breck Brew is the official beer of DNVR. Make sure to pick up some Mile High City Copper Lager. Wherever you are, if you're not in Colorado, if you need to know where to get Breck Brew, check out the Breck Brew beer locator on breckbrew.com. That will tell you where to get Mile High City Copper Lager. Any Breckenridge brewery, the Breck Brew Good Company seltzers as well, no matter where you are. So make sure to pick up some Breckenridge Brewery and some Mile High City Copper Lager today. Breck Brew is the official beer of DNVR. Also, if you want to get set up and be able to watch Nuggets and Avs and Rapids games next season, check out Evoca TV. Evoca TV has Altitude Sports. They have AT&T Sportsnet, so you can watch the Rockies as well. They have other national channels too. You can get it at evoca.tv/DNVR. Use the promo code DNVR. You're going to get $10 off your first 3 months. It's only $15 a month for those first 3 months, plus a receiver, no contract, no hidden fees. Evoca.tv/DNVR. Use the promo code DNVR. Get $10 off your first 3 months. That comes out to $15 a month. You can also watch us on Evoca TV on the DNVR channel. How cool is that? We have our own TV channel on Evoca TV. Make sure to check them out today.
Back here, final segment of the DNVR Nuggets podcast, and we have to get to our top story tonight, guys. I actually forgot about it. Our top story
coming in the third segment.
Oh crap! I was going to get into. Let me hold on. Really choking here.
Our top story coming in the third segment that you're unprepared for as you introduce it.
I'm on this new computer. I'm doing control duty. I'm a wreck right now, you guys. I'm a wreck. Oh, here it is. Our top
physical jitterbug.
Physical Matt Mitchell. What about that?
No, he's the Matt Truck.
Today, I don't know if you guys saw this. Larry Nance Jr. hopped on the road trip and podcast and told a story. The story, he said, the most impressive performance he's ever seen on a basketball court was Nikola Jokic's 46-point triple-double against the New Orleans Pelicans, his New Orleans Pelicans this year in March 5th, I believe was the date. He said, and then he clarified, he didn't want anybody to think, oh, maybe he's not remembering all of the games he's witnessed personally. He was on the court for LeBron James's game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals, in which LeBron James had 58-8, almost unseating like the perfect team. which in my opinion is the greatest single game I've ever watched, like complete game. Larry Nance Jr. says, no, I remember that game, guys. The Jokic one, just a little bit better. He's unstoppable. That game now, guys, to be fair, that game was perfect.
Yeah.
Jokic was incredible, but I kind of feel Larry Nance Jr. definitely in the club, no?
Oh, dude, Larry Nance Jr. He's got a guest pass for as long as he wants it. I mean, when you, especially today, also started off with the guy that was filling in for. I can't.
Oh
remember.
yeah, whoever's that Rich Eisen.
The Rich Eisen fill-in that go. There's nothing worse than somebody calmly explaining to you like just absolute nonsense. He's like, well, if you think about it, and you're like, no, I don't care how calm you are as you deliver these insane points. It makes them no less insane. So then for the day to wrap up with the absolute. Most beautiful cosign I've ever seen in my life. The most impressive game he's ever seen, Nikola Jokic. You know what's funny is I didn't even really remember that game. That is what. It wasn't in the front part of my brain. I'm just saying, like, that's what Nikola Jokic is. You can have this many things where a game like that can sort of fall by the wayside because he's so goddamn impressive. I mean, listen, I'm not saying it wasn't a good game. I'm saying Nikola Jokic is that dude where he can have a game that is
that game again. You need to go watch.
I will, but I'm telling you, there are other games that have been happened since then that I've been as impressed by.
Yeah, the Clippers game, that one, game 4 of the playoffs, like. Those are the games you need to remember from this year. The Monte game winner probably won that one.
For sure. But you get my larger point is that Nikola Jokic is that impressive. Like if, for example, Green Light Jack White had a game like that, we would never stop talking about it. Like the Wancho game. Like there's
the greenest of green lights for Jack White if he had that game.
The Wancho game will the Bo Cruz game will never be forgotten. But Nikola Jokic can just have 8 million the most impressive games anyone's ever seen, and they're different games.
I got to share a great tweet we got from our guy here, Marquise Jarman. He says, my friends took a candid picture of me walking in somewhere.
That's so good.
All I see is in the club meme. Look at this.
That's incredible.
Literally the greatest thing of all time.
I also love that this wasn't staged. Like his buddies just took a photo and he's like, yo, in the club.
Hold on. What's this guy's name? Marquise?
Jarman.
Marquise Jarman. I don't know. I don't believe you that was not staged. I'll just say that. I think that was planned. I think that was planned.
Man,
I mean, it wasn't this. If it was planned, terrible job because he's opening the door and walking through it as opposed to opening the door for somebody else. Some of the logistics were off, or the specifics were off.
Good attempt though, Marquise. Good attempt.
I think I think that was unplanned. I think he just literally is a member of the club.
Ryan Green with a good one. Jack White is hot from 3. The 3-point line becomes the white stripe.
God damn it. Stop encouraging Ryan Green. No one retweet Ryan Green. No one follow Ryan Green. We can't. This is becoming bigger than you guys realize.
D-line. Adam is right. That Pelicans second half in OT was the best.
That's not what I said.
A lot of people here saying Adam was right today. D-line was wrong.
Here are the things you cannot do. You can't retweet or acknowledge a pun made by Ryan Green or say the words Adam was right in any circumstance.
Anyway, I thought it was really cool that Larry Nance, and also, by the way, I don't know if I'd ever heard Larry Nance talk that way, like just talk. He was a great podcaster. Like the way he tells that story on the show, that's actually like an 8-minute clip I tried to condense down. Hilarious. Like he actually, you know who he reminds me of is Blake Griffin. You know, Blake Griffin has a really good like comedic delivery of things. Larry Nance, who knew? Great comedic timing.
Interesting.
All right, our real top story tonight, though, is actually that the Denver Nuggets have extended Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They've given him a 1+1 extension, so he'll have this season plus one more, and then he'll have a player option on the final year of that deal. It was a 2-year extension for $30 million. Of course, the second half of that being that player option. So $15 million a year. He's on a $14 million contract. He gets bumped up to 2 more years of $15 million. The big story here is, the Nuggets got Jeremy Grant. The Nuggets gave up some pieces to get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. If you only have him for 1 year, all year are you sweating? He's on a contract year. He could walk. You get a Jeremy Grant situation. Locking him up, the Nuggets have their roster now for at least 2 years. They're going to get to run if they want. They get to give this thing 2 years chance. Harrison, were you surprised by this extension? Were you excited by it? What was your takeaway?
This is a great move. It's a great move from Calvin Booth to lock this guy in. And yeah, you're right. They did give up, say what you want about Will Barton and Monte Morris. One guy is probably on the downside of his career. The other guy's a backup point guard, but it's two starters from last year's team that won a lot of games and made the playoffs. Like, that's a bunch to give up in a trade. And, you get back a starter in KCP, but to lock him in and to have all 5 members of this starting lineup under contract for the next 2+ years, that's massive, man. That's the window. We've got like 2.5 years to get this shit done, and we'll see what it looks like on the other side. But it's a great move to lock him in. If they were to let him get to free agency, like, he would have been in demand. So I think that it was the right move. You could see it coming, and Denver's got their starting 5 for the next couple of years. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, they definitely, like, this front office minus Tim Connelly, like, learned their lesson with Jeremy Grant. Clearly, like they did pull the same thing with Aaron Gordon. Like, they just preemptively signed him to an extension just to make sure that when like the first year that he's here isn't just then the conversation comes up like, okay, is he going to resign? Blah blah blah, distracting throughout the year. And I mean, I love it. It's just like, okay, this is the guy. It also shows like intentionality. Like, this is the guy we wanted. Let's make sure that we, he fits the vision of the team that we have. So let's make sure that we give this team the vision and the runway to actually accomplish the goals that we think that they can. So I love it.
Can I take one other little victory lap here? And I'm actually serious about this one, not for myself. People have to understand something. I just want the truth, like the right criticisms. I don't like when people make the wrong criticisms. Like, if you make the wrong criticisms, and I agree with you that you should be criticizing the person, but I think in the wrong way, I'll argue that. I'm like, no. Here's the problem. When I said that I thought the Cronkies were at a point where they are willing to open up the checkbook, that was from what I believe to be very well-sourced information. And in not just that, also from cross-referencing their other teams and saying, hey, the Cronkies have been cheap for almost all of their existence. But for some reason, and I don't know why, I'd love to have Josh on the show to explain it. For some reason, they appear to be in a moment in time when they're willing to spend right now.
The table's hot.
And we just saw that.
I'll tell you why.
We just saw that with the Rams. Now we're seeing it with the Avs. They're opening up the checkbook right now for this Avs team and signing some guys to deals that people didn't expect. And now you get in, and I remember, look, the first day of free agency, it did look not great. It looked like, okay, they're shedding some salary. It's not looking good here. The Nuggets are now not just committed to a lot of money right now. They're committed to money for 3 years, basically. Could they get under it? Yes, but it would actually take hard work. Like, these are not moves of an owner that is looking to shed salary. It would now take hard work to shed salary from this point forward. So whatever, again, you can criticize them in a lot of different capacities, but right now, for whatever reason, I just think it's important to acknowledge, hey, they appear to be spending money, like real money.
They are.
And I'll tell you why they are. Like, the Cronkies got a taste of winning championships in the last 12 months with the Rams winning the Super Bowl, the Avs winning the Stanley Cup, pretty much back to back. They got a taste of it. Like, the Cronkies are on top of the sports world right now. If the Nuggets win a championship,
I hope this is
next season. If the Nuggets win a championship next season, it will be like an unprecedented run for ownership, winning 3 world championships in the span of like 24 months or something like that. It'd be crazy.
It'd be less than that. It'd be like 16 months.
Yeah, 16 months.
It'd be something crazy.
Yeah, like 1.5 years. The feeling inside the Nuggets organization right now is the Cronkies are more motivated than ever because they've gotten this taste of winning. These people are the most competitive people you've ever met, more competitive than steady Collin Gillespie.
No,
but
you take that back.
Who is an incredibly competitive dude. But these guys are some of the most competitive dudes on the planet. Speaking about the Cronkies, they want to win. They gotten a taste of winning championships, and they want to stack as many as they can right now. Like, that's where this is coming from. And yeah, they are spending money, and they're doing everything we've asked of them in that capacity.
Yeah.
It could be the drunk with winning thing. That really could be it. I think it might be more that their MO is just to be cheap at all times until your team's ready to go all in.
Yes.
Like they might be the team at the guy at the poker table who never bets, always folds, and then when they get the good hand, they're like all in. That might be them.
I think that's exactly it. And I think it's more than just like feeling that. I mean, I think it, like I watched Josh Kroenke walk into Cox Pavilion and his chest was like puffed out. Like he had like such a swag about him. I was like, and good for him, man. Like, I agree. Like the Kroenkes really are, they've been taking like universal flack for years. They've been like painted the villains, like their like forms have been burned in effigy in England. Like, something usually reserved for literal witches. And people have been mad at them. And I really have always sort of held the belief, especially with this Nuggets squad, that it's like once it's worth spending, like it's stupid to just throw bad money at a team just because then you can say, oh, they're spending. I mean, if you can't convince the right players to come to your team, and it takes a while to build a team, you can only add 1 to 2 players a year through the draft. Then you have to convince players to come through free agency, which has always been difficult for Denver just because of the regionality of it. And that's changing. Like now it makes sense. Now you have the back-to-back MVP. Now your 2 complementary stars are supposedly going to be healthy. Like now is the time to strike. It's exactly that. You're on the blackjack table, and the table is hot. Like double those bets, triple those bets. Like now's the time, man. Like
that is Eric's style. You're right,
dude. As soon as we switch out the shoe, like pull those bets back, man.
Yeah,
we switch out the dealer, the vibes change entirely. But like,
how long do you think that Eric is going to be making just Vegas themed metaphors?
Forever. This will never end.
The KCP thing, Harrison. Is there any part of you that worries at all that it is an extension for a guy we haven't seen? Like, we don't know that KCP fits. We all think he does. It seems like the talent fits, but maybe he doesn't. Is there any concern now that you just added more money to a guy we've never seen play with this group?
Sure, there's always the unknown, but it's not like they added him for a ton more money. I mean, he was making $14 million last year. He's making $15 million on this extension, so it's tradable as well. But I think Denver looked at KCP honestly in a very similar way to they looked at Aaron Gordon when they went out and got him. They surveyed the market with Gordon. I don't think there were many gettable 4s out there that they thought would fit better with Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic other than Aaron Gordon. And they were right, I think. And I think they took the same approach with KCP. They looked to see what 2 guards were gettable. And I don't think there was one out there that they thought could be a better fit with this starting lineup than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So, sure, he might not be the perfect A+ 100% fit that we all think he could be, but I'd be very, very surprised if he wasn't just a great fit.
The last little bit of news we have here, it's not really even news. We had kind of heard this behind the scenes. I think people probably speculated that this was true, but Michael Malone, who, by the way, 2 times now he's gone on the broadcast. I don't remember.
Loves it, man. He loves it.
Are we going to see him again in Summer League? Is he going to make another broadcast appearance?
I mean, you remember my conspiracy corner take from a couple weeks ago.
Let me hear it.
That Michael Malone wants to be more in the limelight this season.
I forgot. I love it. Gosh, Harrison strikes again.
It keeps coming to fruition.
I love it.
He's going to be great on the podcast. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Man, I hope so, man. We got to get him on the show.
I know.
It's a travesty that he will hop on a Summer League game. There's more people watching this than the Summer League game. I guarantee it.
I've spent more time defending Michael Malone than I have myself. Like I'll take more slings and arrows online than I'll just be like, well, I probably deserve that. And then Michael Malone, I'm like, you shut your fucking mouth, man.
But he says that today that he suspects that Jamal Murray will not be playing 35 minutes per game. In fact, he didn't even say he suspects. He kind of stated it as a fact. Jamal's going to be more playing minutes in the 20s to start the season and ramping up from there. Eric, when you hear that at all, did it make you nervous? Was it expected? Are you cool with it? How do you feel?
I mean, we're so far out that that just feels like what you're supposed to do. We'll see how I mean, like if Jamal Murray's like issue the last several years is he's such a slow starter. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's
this
a great
cuts
move.
that out.
I don't know if it's a great move to come to actually like start him off like. I mean, you don't want to run him into the ground, but also to I don't think it's a great move to treat like wrap him in bubble wrap either. Like he's a really young guy. He's the beneficiary of like new medical innovation that has like gone on to like really seamlessly repair a lot of guys' like knees and Achilles and things that were like formerly death sentences. I feel like Jamal Murray, we should just be thinking about like that he wasn't injured. Like he just needs to be like, Jamal, like go out there, be a killer. Don't think about the fact that you were injured. We don't want to remind you that you were injured. Like it's just go time now. Like move forward. So I mean, we'll see. Like obviously at this, like a guy, you say the same thing with Michael Porter Jr. Anybody coming off of injury, like we're not going to hurt the guy again. We want to be smart. It's a long season, blah blah blah. But like Jamal Murray needs to come out and like reestablish who he is in this league. It's been too long. He's missed 2 consecutive playoffs, which was not 2 calendar years because of COVID, but feels like 2 calendar years he's been gone, and people have begun to forget about him. And it's time for him to like come and reestablish who he is in this league.
God, I love this take, Eric. Honestly, God, sincerely, I love this take because we keep analyzing the Murray situation from a like safe, protective, whatever.
Like,
and I think
he's a young
that's
guy,
fine.
man.
It's important. It's important. But I kind of do want to hear Jamal Murray with the like, I need to remind people because he does.
Yes,
like,
he does.
We've seen the list. We've seen the list of the best guards in the NBA, the best young guards. He's been lapped. Like he was to me, like people had Booker ahead of him, but I always thought that he had the more impressive resume. You know, Booker has passed him because Booker now was on a team that won 60-something games. Like,
Yes.
you know, he deserves those accolades and went to a finals. But there are guys like John Morant and these guys like in the next tier. I wouldn't be surprised when we get the tiers, the rankings that always come out right before the season begins. You know how everybody does rankings of players?
I can't wait.
Is Jalen Brunson going to be ahead of Jamal Murray?
For sure.
Jalen Brunson?
No question.
So you're right. He does need to remind people, and I don't want him to like do anything dangerous, but I do hope he comes with that attitude, not the attitude of like when he ease into it, you know, got to whatever. I hope it's like, no, I need to wake some people up.
No doubt. That's the thing. Like listening to that same guy earlier talk about Nikola Jokic shouldn't have complimentary players. It comes up there like all, here's Jamal Murray. Like, that's a pretty good little player. He's, it's like, and you're like, God damn it, man. Like Jamal Murray is fucking dope. Like Jamal Murray tore the heart out of the Utah Jazz. Jamal Murray turned in the most impressive performances we've ever seen. I mean, you can throw an asterisk on there if you want to, if you're soft, but he was just making shots like, that were so pressure filled over and over and over again. And he was just an absolute fucking killer. And now we're looking at him as like a charity case. And so I'm ready for Jamal to come back and
Jamal
scream.
Who's chomping at the bit. And the Nuggets are holding him back. Like, hey, the safety is we can't let him play as much as he wants. But I don't know if that's the case. Like the way the team's talking about him, they are putting him in bubble wrap. And again, it's smart. They know better in terms of where he's at physically, this or that, or where he will be. But I just hope that there is that mentality of, no, I'm out here to remind everybody, and that's what he takes. That does it for today. Do you have something, Harrison, you want to close with?
No, I just can't wait to see Jamal back out there, man. Like people forget that he was primed, I think, for just a massive show out in the playoffs. Like he had that 50-point game against the Cavs. The Nuggets starting lineup was dominating. Like it was right there for the taking, and everything's just been delayed a couple years, but we're almost back.
I will say this, Jamal going hard for 20 minutes could be cool to watch. It's true. And you know what, Eric, it means if Jamal's only playing 20, 25 minutes, you know what that means, right?
It means we're winning games. It means
Collin Gillespie's in the rotation.
Steady Collin. Is it steady Collin?
I know what it means. It means bones.
Thank you. I couldn't believe it took us this long to arrive.
I was queuing Eric up for that. I was lobbing it up for him.
Guys, I'm hungover from Vegas. You got to give me more of a tea than that. And also, Adam, we have some super chats.
That's right. Lest you forget. You're right. We do. I put these out there. Thank God. This is why we have producers. David W. says, Collin Gillespie, Adam's son, thank you, Adam, large adult son, is a hooper. Oh, man, he's feeding everybody in this super chat.
Oh, I would disagree with that.
Also, what's up, D-Line? You're a cutie.
That super chat went a lot of places.
You've been there on David W. there. Look
that super chat.
You a cutie, and you're gonna blush.
That super chat really took us all over the place. I didn't know. I didn't know up from down. I was mad at the beginning. I was just flushed at the end.
There you go. Denver Smugget says, I really appreciated the recent content, guys. Thank you. Quick question, because it's fun. How would you try to guard Murray, Bones, MPJ, AG, Jokic? This is the all-fun lineup. 2 ball handlers who are also three-point shooters. Michael Porter, of course. Aaron Gordon, and then Jokic. How would you try to guard it?
You can't guard that.
You want to take it, Harrison?
I don't know how you guard it either, man.
You don't guard it.
Say a couple Hail Marys and
You're just, like hopefully they'll miss the shot. Like that's about it.
yeah.
That has every
foul,
part of the,
try to foul Bones Highland. I don't know.
dude. That has
Or
every
Aaron
part of
Gordon.
the court. Every part of the court is covered with that lineup.
Yeah, I would say the way you try to guard
Make
it
Aaron
is by
Gordon beat
attacking
you?
Bones on the other end. Like you want to draw fouls, you want to slow that game down, and that's why I don't know how much we'll get. Although I will say, we've done this in the past where we've talked about, man, this will be the most fun lineup, and then Michael Malone literally never plays it.
Oh yeah,
And
0
it's
minutes
because
for that
it's not
lineup.
necessarily a good lineup; it's the most fun lineup. So this is a lineup that I kind of think, like, if I said the first day we see that lineup, it's going to be like March 26th. It'll be like the first time.
Francisco,
Do
I
you
have
guys
one.
think-
I have one blanket that's ruffled behind me on my. He says my house needs to be cleaned. I don't know if you're. I don't know if you're talking about my like my internal house. Like that's possible.
Probably, yeah, metaphorically. And then last one here, our guy Ray says, shout out to Megan McPeak on the broadcast. Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. All right.
Okay.
Well, that does it for us today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I believe, what do we have? 1 or 2 more shows left this week, Harrison? Do you remember? 2 more shows.
I think 2 more. Yeah.
Yeah, so we might be back, I think, maybe for a casual Friday, maybe for a post game. We'll have to see. We'll check our schedules. Let me scroll now to where the outro video is. I'll see you, buddy.
Under,